and your special attraction match. It is time for our main event this week on the Reality of Wrestling. 𝐒𝐤𝐿, this is something that we have been very excited about for weeks. Being flanked by Lights, Camera, Faction. It is Kenny King.
For the very first time, we are seeing the entirety of Lights, Camera, Faction out here in full force. Normally we see the 4 members, but today they are joined by the one and only Kenny King, who graces us here from Impact Wrestling, and not quite making his Reality of Wrestling debut, but making his Reality of Wrestling Arena debut in what promises to be an amazing match in the homecoming for Bryan Keith. You want to talk about unity, you want to talk about brotherhood. These 5 just admit it immensely.
Cut, 𝐒𝐤𝐿. Cut! You're right, Kenny King, TNA Wrestling star. Man, we saw at one night in Vegas back in October of 2012 or November 2020, excuse me, 2021. Still balling in the mix. It is Bryan Keith. We have waited for his return for several months now to the Reality of Wrestling, and it is now happening. It is now here. The moment could not get any bigger than this. Special attraction for the underground king of the South.
I have chills. I love it when Bryan Keith enters the building, because you can just feel the love and adoration from everybody here at the Reality of Wrestling. You want to talk about originals here that have been here through thick, thin, the beginning. It doesn't matter. Bryan Keith has done it all. He's seen it all, and he still proudly reps Reality of Wrestling everywhere he goes. And tonight, this is a home game, if I were to ever have one, for Reality of Wrestling against Kenny King.
The following contest is scheduled for one fall. Introducing first to my right, fighting out of Las Vegas, Nevada, representing Lights, Camera, Faction, and Total Nonstop Action Wrestling, he is Kenny King. And his opponent from Greens Point, Texas. He is 2023's #1 wrestler on BWI Top 500, and he is Reality of Wrestling, the Underground King, Bryan Keith.
That was an awesome opening introduction by Chris Russo, our senior ring announcer, for this special attraction match. Kenny King versus Bryan Keith. 𝐒𝐤𝐿, I tell you all the time, why are you being so damn partial when it comes to the competitors here at the Reality of Wrestling? But I have to admit, I have to put it out front. It is hard for me not to root for the underground king, Bryan Keith.
I gotta agree with you fully there. And, you know, we are going to have to remain impartial for sure in this matchup, because it is still a contest.
It is.
This would be as if,
let's go.
Let's say the Raiders were coming into the NRG Stadium facing the Texans. And now we're going to see the Texans do some work in the form of Bryan Keith as the bell has rung. And this match is quite a dream match, if you will, Brad. This was supposed to happen 2 years ago for us, before that event unfortunately got canceled, and we never were able to put the match back together until tonight. And now this first lockup, and I've already got chills. Who is going to be the better man here tonight?
We're going to see it. These two guys are technicians when it comes to their abilities inside the squared circle. Bryan Keith, homegrown individual, former reality wrestling champion. Kenny King, we've seen what he's done in TNA over the years, and we saw him up close and personal at the MGM Grand Ballroom in Las Vegas, Nevada. And he took on Titus Alexander at One Night in Vegas. Kenny King's big box office, man. He lives up to the billing, and he lives up to the last name, K-I-N-G. He carries himself like it. And now, different than we saw before, he's got the backing of lights, camera, faction.
And look at this, Bryan Keith controlling the pace thus far, making sure that he is one step ahead. The pressure of performing at your own house against somebody that's trying to come in and invade it is something that BK knows very, very well, as both men were thinking drop kicks, and now we are at our first standoff here.
Both men thinking the same thing. Of course, Kenny King's style influenced by the great Booker T, as is Bryan Keith, who was trained by the man himself. So I'm sure there's a couple of things they're going to do the same, a couple of tricks they're going to know that the other man is going to try to implement.
Now we want to talk about the championship pedigree of both of these competitors. Kenny King has captured the likes of the X Division Championship over from TNA on 2 different occasions.
Very prestigious championship.
He has been an Impact Digital Media Champion, as well as multiple-time Ring of Honor World Tag Team Champion. Now Bryan Keith on the other side, he has been champion here at Reality of Wrestling, not only for the Reality of Wrestling Championship, but also the Television Championship on multiple occasions. He knows how to provide at the championship level for all of our fans here. And now look at that.
And championships, Kirby, are like peppermints at your favorite restaurant. They just don't give them to anybody. That X Division Championship was all about, not about weight limits, but about no limits. AJ Styles, one of the names that has held that prestigious championship. Samoa Joe, Kenny King, that's the company that this man is in. Oh, wow, big right hand from the King.
And what was impressive there is that I think King saw him coming from over the corner. That perception right there was all that he needed just to be able to sucker punch Bryan Keith as he was coming in. Very smart to break the count there. Does not want to end this match on a count out. Wants to ensure to completely destroy the momentum of Bryan Keith, but look at this. Bryan Keith,
take my crown to the grave. He's an underground king.
Now as we're starting to get a little bit more into this matchup, Brad, I have to ask you.
Bam!
Bryan Keith, this is his homecoming. This is his home turf. Do you think that maybe adds a little bit more pressure to Kenny King to not only perform, but also make that kind of impression in Reality of Wrestling? I'm going to be the bigger man here tonight, especially after the kind of momentum that Bryan Keith has gotten as of late.
Kenny King just put some pressure on Bryan Keith right there. Let me tell you, that did not feel well, did not feel good. A bending of the rules there. But yeah, of course, Kenny King coming into foreign territory, you're always going to feel a little anxious, especially when the spotlight is on you and you are top billing. Like the audio too, but that right hand rocking the grill of Bryan Keith. He's gonna have to get that invisible set fixed up by Johnny. Dang!
Kenny King starting to feel himself, sweeps the leg, and now Bryan Keith in a bad spot here as he gets caught with a kick into the cover. This is gonna be a quick one, Brad. No. It's gonna take a lot more to take down the bounty hunter. We have seen him compete in all kinds of matches here against Ryan Davidson, against Mysterious Q, Will Allday, you name it, ladder matches, cage matches. Bryan Keith has seen and done it all here, but Kenny King is a whole other level.
Kenny King is a different level, and right now he is slowing Bryan Keith's pace down. Although they both can go, although they both can run, although they both have the speed, Kenny's got a little bit more size on Bryan. So Kenny's gas tank might be a little bit better. Might want to wear down Bryan Keith.
Kenny King now into a vertical suplex position, connects,
Beautiful.
goes through, right into the full mount.
And Bryan Keith putting that left arm
Cover
on.
though, kick out.
He was trying to block those shots in the right hands of Kenny King.
Look at this now, Kenny King just driving that left knee across the face of Bryan Keith.
Bryan's feeling it, man. Bryan Keith is feeling it right now.
Kenny King now going for what looks like a scoop and connects.
Big scoop and a slam.
Kenny King here talking trash to the Roan Nation. Oh! Adding maybe a little bit of extra oomph to everything that he's got to really drive it to Bryan Keith, but he missed with that double leg drop, and that may have given Bryan Keith the opening that he needed to try and get back into this. Ducks the clothesline, and there it is, the quickest kicks in the South. You're never gonna find anything quicker here. Oh!
Kick to the gut there.
Big shot there from Bryan Keith in the corner, and now another big shot that does not take down Kenny. And look at that, the power. Oh, but gets caught.
Great move right there by Bryan Keith. And now trying to get back in the driver's seat.
Possibly thinking side effect. We've seen him connect with that many times.
Get back on the saddle.
Kenny King able to break free with those elbows to the side of the head. Both men very equally matched. Oh!
Last second. Able to press him, push the hips up, and get Kenny King to get acquainted with that bottom turnbuckle.
Bryan Keith has an opportunity here to start capitalizing. And this is just classic Bryan Keith that we've seen here. Start lassoing it all in. Calling
not
for
able
it.
to see clearly.
Oh, giant knee
That's
strike.
it.
That's gotta be it. Kenny King is going over the oh no.
So close, so close, so close. But Bryan's feeling it. Bryan Keith is feeling it.
Kenny King is doing a fantastic job of holding his own here against Bryan Keith in enemy territory, but now we're seeing him hook the arms. He could be thinking the very dangerous Soulfire bomb, but no, Kenny King side coming, had it scouted and pushes him into
Kenny
the
King
corner.
had it scouted. Got him right there. Oh, man. In the corner.
And just like that, Kenny King is right back into it.
Kenny up top.
Goes up top, switches it up. Oh, trying to go for a cover, but gets caught.
And a big
buster into the corner. One, two. The homecoming's done. No.
Wow. It looked like that was going to be all. It looked like a 3 was inevitable for Kenny King.
That spine buster was vicious, and you can see Bryan Keith is still feeling the effects of it. A hole was almost made in the center of the ring, but now Kenny King has found his target. He's got to keep going after that back, and maybe thinking full Nelson slam.
Full Nelson there. Bryan Keith planting himself down, trying to lower his gravity to not allow Kenny King to get him over. Oh, look at that. Nice right hand.
Bryan Keith is not going to falter to that. As you can see the determination in his face. He is just getting angrier with these shots.
Bam! Kenny King got caught up.
Oh!
Look at that.
Unique kick overhead.
Oh! Bryan Keith with a big boot to Kenny King's grill.
And here comes Kenny King, connects with the back elbow. Oh, and cover. 1, 2, Kenny King.
Oh, wow, man. Wow. The Kirby.
That was such a close call right there. I really thought Bryan Keith had just dropped the match at his homecoming, but it was not meant to be quite yet. Kenny King in a little bit of disbelief.
Bryan Keith.
Primal yell like from Bryan Keith.
But Kenny King back up to a vertical base first. He's got Bryan Keith.
Up. Could he be thinking Royal Flush perhaps?
Looking for it, Bryan. Oh, look at that.
Uses the turnbuckle to stop Bryan Keith.
That was smart, hadn't seen that before. Bryan Keith, Bryan Keith.
Oh,
the referee though, the referee was kicked. 1, 2, 3, 4, come on, where's the ref? Let's get a ref. Wait, what the hell is going on here?
Hold on.
What the hell is going on?
That's Lights Camera Faction.
What the hell?
Bryan Keith is getting beat down by all of Lights Camera Faction.
It's a gang assault. Action Braxton calling for Bryan Keith.
Oh wait, hold on.
Oh wait, Chandler Hopkins, Eli Knight, Izzy James.
This is all just breaking down.
Just complete mayhem and chaos.
Chandler Hopkins taking out Action Braxton. Fresco getting taken out by Izzy James.
Yeah.
Oh! He is Watson, connects with a spear. And now Eli Knight, here it comes.
Eli.
Oh!
What a spine buster. Kenny King feels like it's his moment.
Order has finally been restored. But now, he runs right into the knee strike. And now Bryan Keith, he's got him set up. The shoulder drop, the soul, fire up. 1, 2, 3.
He did it. Bryan Keith did it.
Bryan Keith waited for this match for 2 years, and now he can finally say that he has a victory over Kenny King with one vicious soul fire bomb. And look at this. We see Eli Knight, Chandler Hopkins, and Izzy James making their way back into the ring to celebrate with the victor as all of Lights Camera Faction is being ousted out of the building with just a whole side of cuts by everybody here in the Row Nation.
No. Hey, come on.
This exhibition match lived up to its billing, and I said that it was going to be a blockbuster, and what a hell of a main event that was, Brad.
It was an incredible sight to see. Kirby, you and I were just lucky to be able to bear witness to the Underground King versus Kenny King. Royalty went to war, but one kingdom reigned supreme. The House of Keith. For our executive producer, Booker T. and Charmel Huffman. For our director, Kevin Bernhardt. My name is the Bo Brad Gilmore. This is Kirby Carry On. And that was the reality of wrestling.